Yo, what's going on, guys? Malc here, and today we're on IW4X again. I wanted to give you guys a little tutorial for elevators. Now, before we get into it, there are a couple types of elevators. There's sprint elevators, crouch elevators, prone elevators. There's like a jump crouch elevators. I don't know why it sounded like that, but so there's that you need to know. And also, before we get into this, you are going to want to have some FPS cap binds. And to do that, just open console, and I'll have some binds down in the description that you can just copy and paste, and you just bind the key to 2 FPSs. So you want to have like 57, and then you want to have, we'll do 250 for this, and then you can also do another one for 333. So as you can see in the top right of the screen, we have, this is my first bind, which is 57, and then my second one, which is 250, and then the third is 333. I usually do my LEs on 250, but we also, if we need to strafe or jump a little bit higher, I'll use 333, and then I just trick shot in general on 57. And that's just because the lower FPS, it kind of makes bigger gaps for hitting knack timings, but for strafing and LEs, you want a ton more updates per second kind of thing, and that's exactly what a higher FPS is. Along with the FPS cap binds, we're also gonna have a couple movement binds. I do left and right, but you can do forward and back depending on which direction you want to go. So along with the FPS cap binds, we're also gonna have some movement binds. I'm gonna have the keys to left and right, and it's just gonna make you scooch over like 1 step or 1 pixel per keystroke. So like, for instance, I have, when I click Z, I scooch to the left, and when I click X, I scooch to the right, and then C is my crouch. So now we can get into the elevator. So the way I like to think about elevators, and I'll probably have like a diagram up on screen that I'll try to make. So trying to make this visual diagram was honestly a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be, but once I figured out a way to properly express how I think while doing an elevator, it was like enlightening almost. So let me explain this diagram real quick. The lighter gray on the bottom part of the screen is where you can stand up, so that's just like free air, nothing's there. And then the darker gray is the barrier itself, so like under a roof or something. And now this little green line is kind of the gap where you need to perfectly align yourself to like activate the elevator. And again, just to make things more like visually understandable, this little red dot is like your center of mass. And in order to activate the elevator, you need to get this red circle perfectly in line with this gap in the barrier. Now with that said, let's check out this animation and I'll explain as we go. So you're gonna wanna start off facing parallel with the barrier to a point where you can stand up, but you wanna push yourself all the way up against the barrier. And then you wanna crouch and scooch over to the left in this case to a point where you can't stand up. So once you go under the barrier, you wanna make sure that your next movement key outwards is gonna be able to stand you up. So just to check that, we're gonna step out and we can stand up. So we're gonna step back under, and then we're gonna turn ourselves a little bit, and we're gonna step out again. We can stand up, so we're gonna go back under the barrier. We can't stand up, we're gonna turn ourselves a little more. So if you can step out and stand up, move back one where you can't stand up, and kind of keep working back and forth. So as you can see, the more we turn perpendicular into the barrier, those 1-step movements from left and right start to cover a lot less space with respect to like the top of the screen and the bottom of the screen. So as we keep guessing and checking and stepping in and stepping out, the closer we become to getting this little red dot into the green zone, and in other words, activating the elevator. So I'm gonna play this animation one more time over a little bit quicker, just so you kind of get the idea, and then we can hop back in game and I'll try to explain it in game as well. If you run right up against the barrier and then you turn 90 degrees, so now you're looking parallel with the barrier. If you crouch and then scooch over to the left, because the barrier is to my left, until you can't stand up anymore, that is where you want to be each kind of movement. Like right here on this, I can't stand up, but if I scoot to the right one, I can stand up. So this is kind of what we're looking for every single time we update. And as we turn into perpendicular to the barrier, it's gonna get tighter and tighter and more exact for the angle. So as we go, so for instance, right here we can stand up, right here we can't. So let's turn in, and you want to find that area where it's one movement key difference to where you can stand up and where you can't. And so we found it right there, and now we'll turn a little bit, and if we scooch to the right, again, we got it. There's that one difference. And then I like to do it so once I stand up, crouch back down, scoot back to the right, and then try to stand up, and you shouldn't be able to. And then move over even more and find that spot. You might have to scooch to the right a couple times, depending on obviously where that angle is. And then it's just kind of guess and check work. You just want to be able to have that one movement key difference, and you just want to get tighter and tighter on this angle. But once we find it, we will shoot up in the sky. There are some elevators that literally just put you up and then move you a little bit, and then they'll drop you. But some also put you up and then you're on top of like a barrier, sky barrier on top of a building. And this elevator here on Karachi is an example of one of the elevators that just takes you up to the top of a building. So just like that, you can see it just puts us on top of this. So for the elevators that put you on top of something, on top of a barrier that the airtime doesn't really matter, you just want to get up there quicker. You want to keep it on a higher FPS, that way you'll just fly up faster. But for the Afghan elevator, where it puts you up and then it drops you, you want to have a lower FPS, that way your travel time is slower and you'll have more time to like spin and shoot and do all that. Keep in mind, if you do move, it cancels the elevator and you'll just fall to the ground. But yeah, so if you guys saw the Afghan elevator, right when I found the elevator, I swapped down to 57 FPS, and you might have been able to see how much slower I was actually going. And again, this is just so I had more time in air. So in the future, I do plan on making tutorials on each map of creative trick shot spots to go for. It might be an elevator, it might be a jump spot, it might be a ladder stall, it might be a care package stall, it might be a care package jump. And like I said, I plan on doing that for each map. So after you watch one of those videos, you might need to watch this video if one of the spots is an elevator, or vice versa. Once you watch this, you'll be prepared for those creative spots. Karachi does have a lot of elevators. Like flights right now, he's gonna be going up here. This one, you kind of gotta do a crouch elevator, and then once you move up, you kind of gotta jump and crouch, and you're already on the plane for the elevator, so he'll go up here. Once you jump and crouch, he'll go up again. Jump, crouch, go up again, jump, crouch, and he's up there. There he goes, straight up into the heavens. Yeah, so like I said, hopefully this diagram does help you. It's kind of what I think in my head. So guys, I hope this did help, because I want everyone to be able to do elevators because they are just absolutely so fun. If you want to learn some other IW4X stuff, check out my channel. I got a couple other tutorials. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys later. It's been your boy Malc, and I'm out. Peace.